In a world filled with sniveling snowflakes, where timeouts and safe places are abundant, where there's 37 genders to scroll through on a job application. Not that they have jobs. We're proud to be your salvation and your beacon to unabashed, in-your-face talk. This is Stars, Bars, and Cigars, the no-holds-barred conservative talk show hosted by battle-tested vets. Lock and load and get ready for an explosive journey through breaking news, the rich tapestry of constitutional history, and the pulse-pounding realities of Army and Navy life. Oh, and yeah, cigars. Stars, Bars, and Cigars. And now your hosts, Jimmy the Bull and Tig Tigger.
Hey, Patriots and Snowflakes. Tig, how are ya?
Good, Bull. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you.
Been a while.
It's been a little bit. Yeah, it's been a hot minute. Happy St. Patty's Day to you, Tiggy.
Happy St. Pat's Day.
Yeah.
I got the last name, but for being Irish.
Yeah. Well, tonight I named the show Carry a Big Stick. And what I'm referring to is the 26th president of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt. He often said, speak softly and carry a big stick and you'll go far. So what do those words mean? So
well,
we're going to talk a little bit about that, but first let's talk about our cigars.
Yeah, let's do that. Well, I'm smoking an H. Upman bar beer. It's 1844 special edition bar beer. Yeah. It's a barber shop pull type of deal here. It's a Toro. It's a Dominican, but it has like Dominican and Nicaraguan fillers. It's a Connecticut and Sumatra wrapper, as you can see with the two-tone there, the barber pole deal.
That's a good cigar, man. I smoked one of those about, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5, maybe 6 episodes ago. I don't know.
It has a high rating, like 5-star in the 90s and stuff.
Really
it's sweet cocoa and mixed nuts and light spice and toast. That's an pretty good
smoke.
H. Upman was German, and he went over, I think, to I don't know if it was Cuba or one of those South American countries, and then set up shop there, I guess. So I mean, it's named after a German, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember smoking that one. That was a really excellent cigar. I don't think you lit all the way there, Tig.
No, I'm struggling.
You're gonna have a bad burn if you don't get that one straight.
Struggling to get it lit, actually. Well, what about your cigar? You go ahead and talk about your cigar, and I will.
Yes, sir.
Get this damn thing lit.
Yes, sir. Well, I am smoking a CAO, KO, or whatever you want to call it. Faso. It's a Sol, S-O-L. It's a Toro. It's a 6x50 ring gauge. It's a beautiful cigar, and I love KOs, man. I'm a big fan of KOs.
They are really good, actually.
Yeah. Just an incredible stick.
Yeah. KOs and I don't think I've ever smoked one that's bad, actually.
No, I haven't either. This was one of there was like a couple of the Fasos. This one here has the cinnamon notes. And then there was another one that had some other different, I think, coffee tones to it or something. So I picked up both of them. So the next episode, I'm going to smoke that other one, and I'll kind of do a little comparison. I'll try to remember what this one smokes like and, tasted like. And they say it pairs well with Kentucky bourbon, which I'm a fan of. So I like that, and haven't been drinking a whole lot of that lately. But
I like coffee notes in a cigar.
Yeah, and then they said that this also pairs well with Nicaraguan rum and also a Cafe Cortado. So smoke well with a cup of coffee as well.
I wonder if a cognac would go well with it too.
Yeah, with those cinnamon, and I'm getting
Yeah.
kind of an earthy tone, flavor as well. Kind of almost an almond flavor.
Have you ever had like brandy with a cigar too? I mean,
Mhm.
that'd be another thing to, you know.
Yeah, brandy's really good with stogies, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so this one's got a Dominican, Nicaraguan, Esteli, and Cordega filler. So it's got kind of a little mixture going on there, but it's complex taste.
you ever notice that a lot of the good cigars nowadays are having a hybrid filler to them? They're
Yeah.
mixing like Dominican and Nicaraguan in on their fillers
Yep.
and stuff, or Honduran mix.
Probably to
And
mellow them out, I imagine.
well, and I think that they're finding that they can get a better flavor cigar when they get the best of both worlds and start,
Yeah,
mixing
agree.
fillers and getting hybrids going with them. So they're finding that the better smokes are more hybrid fillers. So
Yeah, it's kind of like mixing coffee beans, you
yeah,
mix, certain types of beans and you get, different flavor profiles. So I could see that, I could see that especially with cigars as well. So
yeah.
um chat, yeah, want to throw us down some messages. We'd be glad to answer them along the way here.
Yeah, we're taking questions. We are live, folks. We are
Yeah,
live.
we're live. We're live on YouTube, Twitch, and Rumble. Our X feed dropped off, so I had to kick that one to the curb. But I'll still work on trying to get our X feed up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
well, so getting into our show, Tig. Letters to KASH, Bondi, and Trump. What do you want to start with? You want to start with KASH?
Yeah. I'm disappointed with the whole works.
I am too.
I don't want to tick off our MAGA friends.
Well,
And
let's face it. MAGA demanded blood.
yeah, well, and they're doing a good job on the economy and finding Doge is doing an excellent job finding all the government waste and stuff like that. Now, what they do about it might be another story, but that and the border deal is looking good. But here's the problem: while they're distracting us with the positives, they're not stepping up to what we expected, what we wanted to. And, there's a lot of deep state corruption. There's a lot of corruption in government. There's a lot of corruption in three-letter agencies. Right now, you got KASH kind of actually acting like a kitty cat, meow. And you've got, I didn't say pussy. And you got, Bondi, I never trusted her from the get-go, folks. They should have stuck with Gates. He should have hung in there, even though they were putting those allegations up there. They're always like, Bondi's a bulldog. All the conservative radio and talk shows were saying she's so great. I don't think she's great. I don't trust her, actually. I don't. She talked a big game about the Epstein files, and what happened? It's like under the rug all of a sudden. So all these corrupt people, no, those kids, they're never going to get justice. They're not going to do nothing. And how about all these indictments? Investigations should be happening. Why aren't they? We've got a lot of people in the deep state. We got corruption in Congress and in the Senate. We got corruption everywhere. And they haven't even touched it yet.
Right.
That Epstein, we've been waiting for that Epstein list to go public for a long time. I have it. And
really,
social media kept taking it down on me.
And really, honestly, Tig, we deserve to see it.
The public deserves.
America deserves this. What the fuck is the holdup?
We deserve to see the Epstein list. We deserve to have investigations and indictments. We deserve to see these corrupt politicians that are becoming multimillionaires corruptly. We deserve to see them investigated too. You got to get on the ball. Yeah, I hear people saying, "Oh, it's only been a couple months." Well, bullshit. Get to work. I haven't seen. What has Bondi done? What has she done? I haven't seen her do nothing. I haven't seen
good on TV.
They're doing a lot of talk. Okay, lip service, because that's what we're getting right now. Talk tough and lip service. And let's see what Bonagino does. I mean,
I'm not going to expect too much out of him. He's only the deputy director, so I mean, he's not like in charge. It's
a joke because everybody's talking a big game. These guys are great. They're going to do a great job. We're going to get rid of corruption. I don't see it.
And honestly,
Okay.
you know, they're kind of pushing the freaking, you know, ball down the court a little bit. You know, they're saying, oh, you know, we nabbed two soldiers that were, you know, selling secrets to China, and then another one is they got some guy who was I don't know. There was just one other one that they had recently that, you know, was another kind of a big smokescreen, I thought, but
Small time.
yeah, the small
Small
time
time.
shit.
You know, we need to see some big names coming up. For, you know, the American public, this is what we voted for. We want the corruption. We want the Hillarys, the Obamas, the Bidens. We want the celebrities on the Epstein list. We
And
want that exposed. We want the investigations. We want the indictments. These people, Fauci, all them crimes against humanity people like him and Gates, they need to be brought to justice
absolutely.
swiftly and quickly. And I don't see it happening. I
No,
see the
I'm not
same
going to see it
bullshit.
happen either. I think it's just a big smoke screen, and
You
I
know,
think, you know, a lot of these people got talked to, and, you know, including Trump. I think he got his dick whacked.
the FBI, they should be actually abolished, as well as the ATF should be the first agency abolished. Let me tell you something. Let's get into the ATF for a second, since that's a big thing of mine. Okay, first of all, this seems to be shoved under the carpet. I'm going to read this for a second. 32. This was introduced January 7th, 2025. And it's called HR 221 to abolish the ATF, a bill that was submitted by Missouri Congressman Eric Burleson. And with him, 32 other members, and I have the names too, if you want me to read them, but I have the 32 members of Congress that supported this bill, HR 221, to abolish the ATF. The bill was submitted and referred to the House Committee on the Judiciary, and there it sits, and there it'll probably sit. The ATF, we can learn their corruption going back to 1993, the Waco, Texas incident, where they instigated shit instead of just taking and David Koresh and arresting him or finding him on something and taking him in. They instead instigated, and then they stormed the compound, got their asses handed to them by people that really weren't all that highly trained, and the ATF took an ass whipping. The ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, which actually should be a convenience store, are the biggest bunch of pussy tyrants ever established in the United States. These guys, they try to create laws and restrictions on our firearms, on our Second Amendment, when they have no legislative jurisdiction whatsoever. They're not part of the legislative branch. They're an agency. They have no right to limit our firearms whatsoever. They have no right to create laws, and they're as worthless can be. What was it last year? They had one of the big shots, the ATF. He was talking about all the various handguns. The easiest one to field strip and clean, a Glock, he struggled trying to take that thing down.
Yeah.
ATF, like my hat says, you're gay, and they need to be abolished. There's a bill sitting on the table to do such thing. And you know what's worse yet? In our state poll, the two congresswomen in our state have not supported it yet. Go figure.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And they're the only congresswomen in the entire Midwest. They're the only state. We're the only state in the entire Midwest that doesn't have someone from Congress supporting this bill to abolish the ATF. They're one of the most corrupt agencies there ever was created in the United States. They're tyrants. And let me tell you something else besides being tyrants. They're an unconstitutional form of law enforcement. Okay. The Constitution says the only real law enforcement is the sheriff's department, because you vote. The people, we the people, get to select and vote on a sheriff.
Right.
So now here we are. Nothing. They're just, dragging their feet on this.
Yep.
Our Justice Department dragging their feet on this once again. And I kind of, now I'm not an anti-law enforcement person. I support the Blues. So don't get me wrong, folks. I'm big on law enforcement. But what I see today is a lot of these young law enforcement officers that have no concept of what the Constitution is. They don't understand the oath they took, okay, which is to defend the Constitution. They are just basically order takers for unconstitutional laws. Okay, you've got, especially in blue cities and blue states, you have got police chiefs that are unconstitutional and corrupt. You have sheriffs that are unconstitutional and corrupt. So when Trump says, I support all the law enforcement pretty much across the board, and at least 1% of law enforcement, we should not actually support or trust because they don't abide by the Constitution. Our county sheriff, where we reside, Jim, a few years ago in a meeting with a group, he even basically said right to their faces he didn't consider himself a constitutional sheriff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I support the blue, but I only support the ones that actually defend our constitutional rights.
Right.
Anyone else, I don't, because they're easily corrupted. And I tell you one thing, when the shit hits the fan, if it ever does, and when it comes down to basically, pushing laws that are unconstitutional or violating our constitutional rights, there's some of them officers, I guarantee you this, they're not going to lose their jobs by doing the right thing.
Right.
They're just going to be order takers, and they're going to violate your constitutional rights and abuse their power. So we really need to not blindly support the blue, but support the ones that are legit, and fuck the rest, because you know what? I'm not an all cops are bastards kind of guy. I support them. In fact, I get along with a couple cops really well, but they are conservative. They are constitutional. They believe in their Second Amendment rights and stuff like that for everybody. Some of the cops love it when we open carry, but then you got others that are just shit bags.
Right.
So we got to know the difference, people.
And, the other thing, too, is, Trump promised he would get, constitutional carry throughout all states, so we can travel across lines without having problems with our weapons. So I really want to see that because, in my profession, I think I deserve to, protect my, home away from home.
Yeah,
so,
don't count on Illinois to comply with that.
No.
Fat Pritzker. That commie bastard from the WEF.
I saw where they Doge had found his name and a bunch of other people, and in some records where they've been, taking money and laundering it basically. And there again,
okay, they're finding it. How come our Justice Department, okay, how come KASH Patel and Bondi, how come they aren't calling for investigations on these people? How come they aren't calling for investigations on several politicians on both sides of the aisle that have been taking kickbacks from foreign money we've been given?
Right. Well, not only that, but there's like Act Blue, which, funneled money to the DNC and, a bunch of different Democratic, candidates as well. And
USAID
never fucking happened.
USAID was doing it too.
Yep.
So,
well, that was the big one that Pritzker was getting, was through USAID.
So they need to start calling on some serious indictments here for these people. We need to take down the government. Really, we do. We need to get rid of all the corruption.
But we don't. We're entrusting, the people we elect to do this.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe there needs to be some more protests and demonstrations on our side of the aisle saying, hey, we voted for justice. We voted to get rid of corruption. So stop giving us lip service and get on it,
Another thing I came across was KASH Patel was saying that he wanted, bodyguard protection not provided by the FBI. He wanted his own personal private detail. So
that says a lot right there.
Yeah,
He's
it does.
Head of the FBI, and he can't even trust his own FBI to provide any kind of security. Are you kidding me? Hey, how about this, KASH? How about you just abolish the FBI altogether? You don't really need the job anyway. You have enough money to, to go on talk shows and write books and stuff like that.
I'm thinking they're in this for the notoriety,
abolish it. Get rid of it.
Bongino really didn't need to do this either.
These people are corrupt and they're tyrants. We need to get rid of all these 3-letter agencies.
Absolutely.
So it's nonsense
know,
that they're dragging their feet on
Cash,
this
what
shit.
happened to turning the Hoover building into a museum?
Yeah,
I'm waiting for that.
yeah, Mister Government gangsters.
Yeah.
So forgive us, our fellow MAGA, fellow conservative people, if we're kind of getting a little.
We're just trying to open your eyes up to some bullshit that's been floating in both Tiggs and I's mind, for quite a while here. And
I mean, forgive us if we're coming down hard on our supposedly our own people that we've supported, but you know what? Everybody's
trust
accountable.
nobody.
Everybody's accountable, and when you hire people, which we the people did in November, we want to see results. We want to see at least some movement, at least something that looks like they are actually working on it.
Fuck, yeah.
And we're not seeing it. Okay, so the economy, so they're working on the economy, so they're finding corruption and spending and stuff like that. So we're doing real well on the border. We got a lot of corrupt people in the government. We still need to see some indictments on.
Yeah.
Period. We need to take down the ATF. There's no need for an ATF. I mean, there really isn't. Okay, the FBI can cover that, and really, the FBI, they should be gone too. The CIA should be gone.
Right.
I mean, the United States military, their intelligence can do everything the CIA does. I've been saying that forever. So yeah, this is getting kind of tiresome. Not seeing any kind of movement on our Justice Department. For one thing, I expected that when Bondi was opening up her lips and talking a big game about the Epstein files, and all of a sudden that got swept under the rug. I was like, really? Yeah, you're real tough.
Not only the EPI, the EPI papers, but what about the JFK papers? What about the MLK papers? I think we all. I mean,
how come we haven't heard about the assassination in full blown? I said that in our podcast last month. I said who was behind it in so many words, and how come they aren't bringing it to light?
Right.
What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? How about HK? How about Operation Paperclip? How about the fact that we still have Nazis right here in the United States? How about the fact that we haven't done nothing about China yet? About the fact that they own some agricultural land. They share some of our grids. They set up shop next to some of our military bases. They've been spying on us. How about that? How about we start looking into that and start taking a stand against them idiots? How much money did you take? How much money did you take to throw that under the rug too, people?
Yeah.
I mean, who do we have in D.C. right now? I mean, they were saying Bondi's such a bulldog. Oh, really? I don't see that bulldog doing anything. Oh, I get it. Bulldog. They said she's a bulldog. She's not a pit bull. I get it. I get it. There you go. Because every bulldog I've ever met is just a sweetheart of a little dog. Just nothing. Okay. So yeah, we don't have what we should have in the AG seat. We could have had a Matt Gaetz who wanted to abolish all those corrupt three-letter agencies, but no, you guys, basically Trump told him to step down. They didn't like the fact there was so much on him as far as what's on a lot of other people in Congress right now.
I'm not buying the bullshit about, I'm not buying the bullshit that they kicked him out of there for. I don't see it. All these other, we got so many pedals in there, and that's piddly comparing to some of the stuff that these other congressmen and
aren't you suspicious? I hate to come down on Kash Patel, but he hasn't really done much so far. And I know it's only been about a month, but aren't you suspicious? They took forever to vote him in. They complained and complained and complained about him. And then they turn around when they do vote, they vote him in. And all of a sudden, it's like he's been he's done nothing.
That kind of makes me think a little bit about, okay, so he had to take a deal in order to get voted in.
Yeah, because if they hated him so much, how come they got him voted in the first time around?
Yeah.
How come it was relatively easy?
Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking they had to put a deal out there that was comparable for both parties,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, don't investigate us. We'll put you in, but don't investigate us.
Yeah, that's the only way we'll vote you in.
I've seen a lot of talk coming from coming from Kennedy too, but I haven't seen him doing anything. Our chemtrails
Yeah, I
are
know.
worse
He's a
now than they've ever
disappointment, to be
been.
really honest with you.
Our chemtrails are as worse as they've
They're
ever
fucking
been.
terrible, dude.
Our weather is nuts, and that weather is man-made by the government, by the deep state, by the
And
globalists.
you know, the funny thing is I saw a little blip across the
More
screen
poison in the food.
is that Trump is supposedly going to be watching the weather. You know, it's like, why? You know what the fuck's going on? You know, HARP is the fucking problem.
He said about spraying of the skies. I haven't heard anything. You know, there's a lot of stuff right now that's all talk.
And
all
people,
talk.
if you don't know what spraying the sky, let me just jump in here for a second, Tig. And you know, when we say spraying the skies, we're talking about those lines you see in the sky that last for a half an hour and then they turn into clouds. That is actually poison they're spraying in our skies.
Barium,
strontium, heavy metals like aluminum, aborted fetus crap, and I mean, just
that's going into vaccines
DNA.
too.
Yeah, the human DNA crap. So
a lot of the stuff going into poisonous vaccines, the mRNAs, are going into our skies too.
Graphene.
They're slowly trying to kill us. And you know, and you people that still think that our modern vaccines are good for you, you guys are you better go down the rabbit hole a little deeper, because that's really nonsense. All right, the vaccines aren't the same as they were when we grew up. Some of us grew up when we were kids and stuff. I mean, you've seen more cases since they've risen the have adopted a higher schedule of vaccines. Since they've done that, you have seen more cases of autism, more cases of immune problems, immune deficiency, more cases of cancer. Where do you think that's coming from? It's not just coming from the food and spraying the skies. It's coming from the vaccines and the medications, because really they're not trying to save lives. They just want to make money off of slowly killing us.
Yeah.
They're all in on it together. The big pharma is nothing but a bunch of global hacks. That's what they are. So, you know, it's
booted off of YouTube. So,
hey, Pfizer, fuck off. You're a bunch of evil bastards, and you, Bill Gates, are part of the problem, and you, Fauci, are part of the problem. You all need to be indicted and charged for crimes against humanity. You're the one. You're the problem.
Get him.
So. Yeah,
and that offer still stands there, Swalwell.
Oh, Swalwell's another one. Now we're going off the map to this other guy, this douchebag from California, Swalwell, big time communist. Oh, and how come he's never been indicted, investigated for Fang Fang, the Chinese spy he slept with?
Well, I heard.
Why is he on committees?
I heard China killed their ass. So
probably they should do. I'll tell you what they can do.
That's the going rate over there. Hey, did you see China? Just kind of digressing a little bit here, but China is actually taking down mosques. I mean, they're actually taking them down. They take bulldozers and
China, the government of China, the CCP, they don't like any religion. I mean, they'll take down Christian stuff too. I mean, they hate all religion. You know, they're a bunch of atheists.
Well, the Muslims are really doing a number over in Syria too. You know, and the big
Christians are getting wiped out. You don't hear mainstream media talking about the Christian genocide. You know, if I was Trump, and I don't know why Trump isn't doing this, I would hope he does. I would hope he wakes up, because he's supposed to be all in favor of Christianity. Send some special ops people over to Syria and get
tone it down a little bit.
Kill them off. Yeah,
tone it down, man.
Send some Rangers over there, or the Marines over there, or somebody to
just send a couple battalions over and just tone it down, man.
Yeah, just kill them, kill some people, kill some of the ones that are murdering Christians. Get some of them towel heads. All right, knock them off.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Wipe them off the map. We don't need them.
Speaking of knocking people off, hey Canada, quit trying to pick a fight with the United States. We could carpet bomb your ass into oblivion. All right, so shut the fuck up.
What's up with that dude, man? That tub of shit that he put in there. He came in all talking big game, and now he's like a big little squirrel. And
we're gonna cut your electricity off. Yeah, try it. You cut our electricity off, we could carpet bomb you in one day and just put you into the Stone Age, man. You know
what people don't understand? They're like, "Oh, you're picking on our closest ally," blah 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 blah. You know, you know what people don't understand is they tariff every fucking little thing they send to us. They send dairy products, which get anywhere from over 100 to 200% tariff added to it, and we pay it.
And they send us cheap crap too. If you never, if anybody's aware of like Home Depot and Menards, especially Menards, let's talk about Menards because I've bought a lot of lumber in the past from them. I don't anymore. I'd rather pay more money at like Lowe's and that and get a veteran discount and all that stuff because I'm getting better quality. Because I noticed the lumber is crap. When you go to Menards, it's cheaper, but it's garbage. Half of it isn't completely straight. Half of it's got dings in it and tons of knots in it. Here it's from Canada. They send over their cheapest, most lousiest
garbage
lumber. They're garbage to us, hit us with a heavy price. And it's not a heavy price, but it's enough where, you know,
it makes a difference.
Menards maybe giving us a cheaper price than like say Lowe's or Home Depot, but it's garbage. It's crap. Yeah. Why should we pay for that crap?
Right.
You know, that lumber's shit. So yeah, fuck you, Canada. And then you go and boo our national anthem. Screw you. You know, I used to sing mockingly the Canadian national anthem because I couldn't stand them bastards. Because I used to do paddle boat sports, international paddle boat sports and stuff. And I you know, I kind of got to meet some Canadians. I got a photo.
Dragon boat?
Yeah, that and canoeing and everything else.
Yeah, because I thought I saw you down there that one time when you were
kayaking
your dragon boat. And
a couple of us, we got kind of sick of the Canadians and that were there years ago. And it was funny because, you know, they're especially the French Canadians, they totally disrespect us. And so when the Canadian national anthem came up, we mocked it. We were like, "Oh, Canada, you suck, you suck, you suck." Nice. So yeah, I mean, there's no love lost there. I mean, they're supposed to be our friends, but
yeah,
they do enough trash talking that if you've ever had to deal with some Canadians, yeah, some of them are a bunch of a-holes. You know,
so Tig, your barber pole there.
Not all of them are. Forgive me. Some of you Canadians I've met are pretty decent people, but you know what? Y'all got to tell some of your other people in Canada, better tone it down a little bit because, you know, Americans know how to fight too, you know.
Oh, yeah. So midway through your cigar there, how's your impressions? Are you still enjoying that?
It's a solid smoke. It's a good one. Yeah, I mean,
who smoked the H. Upmans?
Huh?
Who smoked the H. Upmans?
I don't know who smoked them. I don't know.
No, Archie Bunker didn't. He was Macanudo, wasn't he?
Macanudo. Yeah. No, and Bill Cosby was Hoyle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Fidel Castro probably.
Yeah, I don't know. H. Upman. I don't know of any celebrity offhand that smokes them, but God, that'd be about a bunch of issues of cigar aficionado. I'd have to probably look back into to see if anybody does smoke them. I'm trying to think of that one guy that smoked Arturo Fuentes. That one actor. He played Hellboy, the original Hellboy. He played in the Sons of Anarchy too.
Yeah, he's a big liberal.
Yeah. He played in The Beauty of the Beast.
Yeah.
Somebody listening can help us out on that one. I forget his name now.
Big liberal idiot.
But he's like into Arturo Fuentes. He smokes stogies all the time. Another big liberal shitbag is Robert De Niro. He smokes cigars too. But
talking about liberal shitbags. What about the Ireland chick? What's her name? Rosie.
Good riddance.
Yeah.
Ireland.
She's about the only one that actually said, "I'll move."
You know what's funny?
Her house down, and then they told her to get the fuck out.
She moves because she hates one person in America, and she's got to move. She hates Trump and the Trump voters, and it's like, at first I was suspicious. I was like, is there another reason why she's leaving the country besides hating her? But I looked into it, and she's not on the Epstein list, so I don't know.
Maybe she is. Maybe we just don't have that list.
I didn't see her on a couple of the lists I
had. I know. I didn't see him either, but I would have remembered her for sure.
She just don't like the fact that Trump told the truth when he said she's nothing but a fat pig. Because she's a fat pig. In fact, I won't even call her Miss Piggy because the cartoon, the Muppet Miss Piggy, looks better than you, Rosie O'Donnell. So
Apparently,
you don't even have one on a pig.
she lost a bunch of weight from what I understand and looks
Oh,
like a
she looks
dude
horrible.
now.
She looks
Yeah.
like she looks like a dog-faced gremlin.
Yeah, she looks like a dude or something like that now. But
She's not even as cute as a gremlin. I mean,
yeah,
Gizmo was cuter than her from the Gremlins, and like I said, Miss Piggy's got one on her too, man. It's pretty sad when you're uglier than a pig, and
yeah.
you are. I think I'm insulting pigs when I say that Rosie O'Donnell's a pig. So Trump, you need to take back what you said about her years ago and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize to all the good-looking pigs out there because Rosie, you're not a pig." You're a lot worse than a pig. You're probably a reptile. Probably a reptile.
Reptilian, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, glad you asked me about my cigar. It's smoking.
I didn't ask
good.
you about your cigar. Fuck you, Jim. Fuck you, Ball. I don't give a shit what you think. No, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
I forgot. I just
yeah,
I went on a rampage.
Shit out of luck.
I went on a rampage.
No, this SOL from KO here is smoking pretty damn good.
Shit out of luck, huh?
Yeah, the SOL soul, that's shit out of luck, I guess. But no, it's actually a really good smoke. I highly recommend it. It's not a real harsh cigar. So, if for a beginner, I think it would be excellent, to get a very complex flavored cigar. So yeah, go for it, man. It's a good stick.
Kales are good.
Oh yeah, I've never had a bad one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, good cigars. Yep.
So auto pen,
Biden auto pen. That's interesting. How many of his pardons and executive orders did he not actually sign?
Hey, let me back this up a little bit. Did you see on Truth Donald Trump and also JD Vance posted a picture of 45, 46, and 47, two Trump pictures, and then the middle one it says auto pen.
Mm-hmm. See, here's the thing. The president of the United States has to be able to read and physically sign any of his orders and any of his pardons and that, because it can only be legit if the president actually reads and understands what he's signing and then physically signs it. This auto pen, who knows who the hell was signing for him?
Yeah.
Okay. So that does not make it legit. That makes them null and void. So you can, if auto pen signed most of his pardons and executive orders, you can kiss them goodbye. They're null and void. And I think they need to bring this up, investigate it, and I think they need to declare all the stuff that Biden auto signed or auto pen signed null and void. And therefore, all those people he pardoned, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, the thing is, when you pardon somebody, they actually committed a fucking crime. What crimes did these people commit? Like Fauci.
What about the ones that he had no right to pardon because they hadn't committed a crime? That's written down. That's actually in the law books and the Constitution. You cannot pardon somebody that hasn't been actually charged.
Yeah.
There again, why isn't our Justice Department going into that?
Hey. I'm gonna pull a little Stephen K. Bannon. Hey, Tig, hold a second.
Stevie Bannon. Yeah,
I gotta love that dude too. So, but anyways, the other thing I was thinking about it too is, with his son Hunter, he got pretty much, the pardon, and there's a lot of crimes he committed, but there was no specific crime that they said that he committed that they're giving him a pardon for, except for it was a blanket pardon all the way back from 2014.
And this goes back to why our Justice Department isn't doing mass investigations on Biden and his regime and some of the illegal stuff they've been doing over the years. I mean, they got a tall order here. They got that. They got the money laundering. They got why these politicians have become mysteriously multimillionaires with kickbacks. They've got the Epstein list. They haven't done a damn thing. They have not made any movement as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
None.
And, the other thing too, Tig, is Trump took away some details, the Secret Service details. Why does Hunter have Secret Service details as well?
Yeah, he don't deserve them. Why didn't he have his
That shit should be
detail.
yanked, man. Why are we paying for that fucking crap? You
Yeah.
know, I mean, come on, Trump, man. What the hell, you know?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, there's some things. Yeah, I said to people, I don't know how much I trust Trump and his new administration, because they're going to show us some good things, but is those good things just smoke and mirrors? I
Right.
mean, are we not going to go after the corruption? Are we just going to, let them get away with everything? I mean,
Right.
we didn't vote for just a couple things, folks. We voted for the whole 9 yards. We
Yep.
wanted to get rid of the corruption, and I haven't. Right now it's a lot of lip service. They're exposing some of it, but they're not doing anything about it. How about some indictments? It's not getting done. I don't see any movement yet, and here again, I just see a lot of weakness. I don't see anything.
Yeah,
Any movement.
I don't know, man. I think everybody, like we had said earlier, MAGA is looking for blood, we're not seeing it, period.
Yeah, we're not seeing any hard lines taken against these criminals, the deep state and the globalists.
What are they going to do? Are they going to still come after us? I mean,
Yeah.
is that the big thing? Is that all that they're capable of? And are their hands so tied that they can't go after these people? I mean, what is it?
I don't know what it is. I don't know. What is there? A lot of threats going on? Are people afraid of getting, like Elon Musk said something about, I'm afraid I'm going to get assassinated type of stuff?
Right.
Really?
Well, I think he has to throw it out there, because I mean,
Yeah.
he's about the only one that's stepping on the hard line,
Yeah. He's doing more of a job than the Justice Department is right now.
Right.
The new
And
Justice.
maybe I don't know if he needs to, find these people so that Pam Bondi can go after them, but hey, there hasn't been no talk, no nothing. It's been tight-lipped, and
Well, they can call on investigations. They haven't done it. So
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
It's just weak dick stuff, man.
Weak. Right now, I see a new administration that was supposed to be tough, and I see weakness, and I see brushing things under the rug, being quiet about things. We want transparency, we want justice, and we're not really seeing a whole lot of justice right now.
No, we
We're
aren't.
not seeing any movement.
That's
So
pretty sad, because
it is.
we as MAGA, we mandated it. We
Yeah,
said this is what we want. We
yeah.
want Trump to step up and be that person that he campaigned so hardly for, and he gets in there, and the thing he did was made himself more rich. He number one, his Bitcoin that he, or not his Bitcoin, but his meme coin, the Trump and Melania coin. He made like billions of dollars off that, and kind of fucked a whole lot of people on it when they pumped and dumped it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing they did, they tanked the stock market, and now they're when that rebounds, they're going to make billions of dollars off of that. So, man, I'm just seeing private enrichment right now.
It's a joke. I mean, we're not seeing really what we need to be seeing.
No, we're not.
Bottom line, so.
Yeah. So, I mean, Chad, if you got questions, man, fire them at us. Fire them at us.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well,
Quiet tonight.
Yeah, we just kind of
quiet tonight.
around, but
Except I hear my kiddo make a noise up there, so I'm kind of looking around.
So you're kind of looking, yeah,
being distracted.
No. So, other news. Okay. You and I kind of spoke a little bit about this before we went on here. Talking about Arkansas, or is it Arkansas?
Arkansas
DOT there, where they pulled in on truckers at the way stations, and they are, wanting these people to speak English. They want them to read it, and they also want them to write it.
They're giving them a paper. Read this.
And if they don't take, they're giving them a $5,000 fine. They're yanking their CDLs. And if the company is owned by somebody in Arkansas, they're fining their company $10,000.
And I think that should go across the board in America.
Well, I think it's going to because
Yeah.
just yesterday, I believe, in Austin, Texas, 5 people were killed by a person that didn't speak English, and he was I guess he was drunk too, so that's a really bad deal.
Yeah, and illegal, was he?
I don't think he was illegal. Well, he could have been, I mean, it's hard to say, they're not saying it, but because that's Austin is kind of a liberal city, so
They need, that's if anybody wants to go through the channels to become a legal citizen in the United States, one of the things is they should have to be able to speak English and write
right.
it.
I
And
agree.
it's always been in America. It's always been our language, English, and that should be a law. So
Right.
if you don't speak English, get the hell out of here. Period.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sick of your foreigners talking your foreign crap out in public and on the job sites and stuff like that. Enough of that nonsense. Speak
Yeah.
English or get the hell out. We don't
Yeah.
need you. So, yeah, you're not being productive by speaking your foreign language. All right, you didn't come here to continue your nonsense from your other country that you didn't like enough to leave and come to the United States. If you wanted to come to the United States, then you should embrace it by learning the language and everything else.
Yes, exactly. Another thing I saw, Tig, in the news. Well, I don't know if it's really in the news, but over in London, England, the Muslims are starting to take over England.
Yeah, well, they need to step up their game in England, but
well, the bad thing is they let so many Muslims in is that they're starting to be the majority now.
Well, maybe they need to set up like we set up an ICE program and support it and use their military too and get rid of them. If they're not legal, if they're not there legally, England's got
it's going to happen, Tig.
England's got a shitty system.
Yeah,
they're not like our system really. No. They don't have what we have, and it's a shame. And
I know they're trying to do it here. That's the whole purpose of this illegal invasion.
Their citizens aren't allowed to have firearms, and so they can't even protect themselves. So, that's why the United States is the best country in the world. We have a constitution. We have our Second Amendment. We're not going to put up with that kind of nonsense anymore. So,
right.
It is what it is.
That's why Syria is having that.
I don't feel bad about England, and in a future podcast, I'm going to talk about England. I'm going to talk about why we shouldn't even be allies with them to this day, and that will probably open up some eyes pretty wide and be like, "What?" And well, it is what it is.
I agree. They've been kind of shitty to us, anyways.
Yeah, they've got a family known as the Rothschilds for one thing, and they've got a crappy royal family, and they're guilty of a lot of things too, a lot of very, very bad things. So, that's a long story that can go to a whole podcast in itself.
Yeah, we'll do that in the next couple of episodes here.
So, yeah, this month, March 5th, was the official birth date of the United States Navy Seabees.
Yeah.
Officially born in 1942. And just a big shout out to them Seabees. And
first in and last out, right?
Yeah, they go in, they pave the way, they build the roads and stuff. They have to send in reconnaissance teams, and they do major projects all over. And here's the funny thing. A lot of people don't know a lot about the Seabees and stuff. They have worked with the Marine Corps quite a bit, and there is certain little teams of Seabees that do a little extra. But just one mention about the Seabees that is a nice little historical fact, which is something that some people don't know about the Seabees, because they're a construction crew. They're very, we build, we fight is their motto, and can do is another one of their mottos. But they have to learn the Marine Corps combat training. They have to take the combat training, and they do use small arms to defend themselves, because they're constantly being attacked when they have projects and stuff like that over in enemy territory. That's why the Seabees were created, because independent contractors were being attacked during World War II over by the Japanese, overseas and stuff. So
Yeah.
they decided they were going to, basically the United States Navy was going to create um, uh, their own construction crew that could do the job and be able to defend themselves at the same time. So anyway, they've grown over time. They've done anti-terrorist training and everything else. But a little fact about the Seabees, they have never had their positions overrun by an enemy combatant. Anytime the enemy has attacked them, they have never been overrun by the enemy, the Seabees. That can be attributed to some of that Marine Corps combat training they get.
Yeah.
I mean, they hold a defensive position. They're not offensive by any means. They're not an infantry unit, but they do hold a good defensive position in a perimeter. And anytime they've been attacked, they have held their own very well. So that's a little tidbit about the Navy Seabees I wanted to add. So I was in the Seabees for a bit too. So
yeah. All right.
Great bunch of guys. Great unit. Great brotherhood.
Yeah. What other trending news you want to run through? You want to go through trending news now, or?
Yeah. Have you heard about swatting?
Yeah, that's crazy.
SWAT teams keep appearing at innocent conservatives' homes. Some of them predominant names. Swatting is a criminal harassment practice which involves fake reports of emergencies or ongoing criminal activities at someone's residence to provoke a response from local emergency teams, kind of like red flag laws, which is unconstitutional. And several prominent conservatives have been reported being the targets of swatting in recent weeks. That shit needs to stop. Period. That's going to get people killed. Because when people when they enter a home in the middle of the night and people think it's a home invasion, they're going to defend themselves using their Second Amendment rights. Then you've got a bunch of firefights, and then you got a bunch of innocent people getting killed.
Right.
It's like red flag laws. It's similar to a red flag law. So that shit's got to stop. They got to put a kibosh on that. So
right. Hey, one thing I want to touch on, this has been kind of floating in my mind a little bit. We're going to be getting into a lot of AI stuff, and it's going to be some really good stuff, and I think it's going to be some really bad stuff, to be really honest with you.
I don't like AI.
I think with every AI film or even a clip or anything, a picture, it should have an AI stamp on it.
Yeah.
That way people cannot take like my image or your image and put it into like a criminal act and get us into trouble. I think it needs to be signified with an AI logo.
It's like stolen identity.
Yeah, because it'll be so easy for them to do. And by the way, I do not give AI permission to use my likeness whatsoever. Yeah. So
I don't give AI permission for anything. I don't give AI permission to use my likeness or try to put words in my mouth or anything. All right. And and we should get into later on sometime about transhumanism too, which is a very bad thing.
Talk about that for sure.
Yeah, so that's
a lot of people don't know what it is, to be honest with you, and I think it's a really important deal right now.
Yeah, another thing in news too is the Democrat Senate race in the future, 2026. They're going to have some problems. Even maintaining the numbers they have maybe in the Senate, because 3 Democrats already said they're not going to run for re-election in 2026. New Hampshire's Jan Shaheen, and she's a senator. Some of these I've never even heard of. Minnesota Senator Tina Smith, Michigan Senator Gary Peters, they're all not going to be running for re-election in the Senate. So, maybe it could expand on the Senate. But then again, if we still keep getting gutless Republicans, what good is it going to do?
Yeah, so they're going to do shit. So it's like we need some, Republic. Well, we need to see Trump step up. We need him to, pull his hands out of his pockets and, start,
we need to see everything, all factions, the Congress and the Senate. All these Republicans need to step up. Stop being rhinos. Start doing your damn jobs.
And that's what I meant about carry a big stick.
Yeah.
Speak softly, carry a big stick, and you'll go far. it's not
Start shaking that stick.
yeah, I mean, MAGA's, we mandated it, so we're looking for that blood. So get on the ball, Trump.
Yeah. Hey, got a couple polls out. NBC polling, Democrats in NBC polls reached an all-time low dating back to 1990. Their approval ratings down to 27%. CNN poll, all-time low since 1992. CNN's poll for Democrat approval rating is 29%.
Damn,
Probably lower than that even, but
I bet you it is.
yeah. So
Usually when they put polls out, they're like they add like 10% to it. So
yeah. So yeah, Democrats, shitbags.
yeah.
Republicans are going to start losing their numbers too if they don't start stepping up their game.
Hey, another thing I saw that was kind of interesting was Gavin Newsom put out a podcast now, and he's been hitting up all these RAV people. I think
He's trying to go center. He wants to run for president. Don't buy his nonsense, folks.
He's garbage.
He's a commie. All right. Remember the fact that he kicked a bunch of homeless people out of a street in California so he could have his communist Xi Jinping friends occupy that area for their little visitation.
Right.
He sucks up to the CCP. He's a communist. No matter what he tries to do, don't fall for the bullshit. He is not a centrist. He is not a moderate. He is a liberal communist Democrat. That's the way he always will be. He is a globalist. He wants 15-minute smart cities in California. He is a shitbag through and through. Don't buy any of Gavin Newsom's.
Don't forget who he's related to.
Yeah, he's a dirtbag.
And if you don't know, it's Pelosi, just so you know.
Another shitbag.
Exactly.
So
she should be indicted right now. I don't understand.
Don't ever support Gavin. Don't even think about it, because he's not who he's trying to be.
He's not that nice guy, that's always waving his hands like a.
He wants to run for president. He wants to run for president 4 years. So now he's trying to make a name for himself, trying to be the good guy, the moderate guy and stuff. He's not. He's a piece of shit. Period. Period. Lock, stock, and barrel.
And I'm kind of thinking, with Kirk, what's his name? What the hell? The guys he did the interviews with, he did one with Steve Bannon,
Charlie Kirk, Steve
Why
Bannon.
didn't they light him up, man?
Yeah,
they were acting too buddy with him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their deal is either. I think we got, future conversation, because I don't like a lot of this, controlled opposition type of bullshit. I'm starting not to trust anybody really anymore.
Yeah. Oh, that's the biggest thing with politics. You can't trust.
You can't trust anybody. So that's the bottom line right there. They need to start stepping up. I don't get it.
Hey, final impressions on your Stogie.
It's a good one. I mean, H. Upman's pretty good. They got high-rated cigars.
You can't go.
If you see the H. Upman Barbier, the barbershop poll, I recommend it. It's a good cigar. It's not that expensive either.
No, and it is a little bit. It is a little bit like of a full-bodied type cigar. So it's not. It's really not a beginner type cigar. So straight up Nicaraguan filler. So it's
a little bit of Dominican.
Yeah. I just had something pop up here. Let me grab this real quick. Thoughts on this? Oh yeah, they keep floating this idea around Terrence Williams. He's throwing it out there that he thinks that AG Pam Bondi should appoint Matt Gaetz as special counsel to go after corrupt Democrats in Congress. I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening either. Not with Bondi. I don't have any confidence in Bondi whatsoever. I said I didn't like her when he chose her. When Trump chose her, I didn't like her as a pick, because I seen the past in Florida when she wanted to adopt a similar to a red flag law, which is very anti-Second Amendment, and I didn't like it, and I still don't. So people can have their opinions and say what they want about her. I think it's smoke and mirrors. I don't like her. I don't trust her. So there.
Yeah, that was her 2 cents for that deal.
Yeah. So Yeah.
All right. Well, my KO is smoking pretty damn good too. So like we both said, you can't go wrong with KOs. So
Yeah.
grab a KO, you won't be disappointed. And they're not so harsh either that beginners can jump on one of these and have a great
Kales are always
smoke.
Good. Kales are very good. Very good for all cigar type of smokers. So, yeah.
So, do you got anything else you want to run over?
No, I just say, people, I always say, if you're not suspicious and you're not a little paranoid, then you are not prepared.
Yeah.
And you know what? Before you all get all ramped up and think that everything's going great and stuff, usually there's a calm before a storm. So, folks, don't get too excited about what's going on right now, because you know what? I supported Trump 3 times, but I'm still a little suspicious.
We'll still be critical,
And I'm still a little suspicious, and I'm not totally trusting this administration.
No.
Just not.
And, my biggest thing too is, I think that, Trump should step up to the plate and do what he said that he was going to do when he, spent all this time, energy, money in every single campaign. Is he needs to do what he says.
We need to end corruption right now.
Yeah. And the other thing too is,
indictments.
Throwing out these tax things. One more thing too is, he was throwing out this tax, no income tax on, up to 150,000. Make it a law.
Yeah.
Get all the senators and, get Congress on it. Pass that as a bill. We want to see that go down in perpetuity. We don't want no bullshit. EO's written for it that, goes away on the next president. So make it a law. You want to show us the real, hardcore sticks behind it. Make it a law.
Yeah. Start stepping up on getting rid of the corruption. Start stepping up on the indictments. Get into that Epstein list. Get into the deep state clowns and the globalist clowns and some of these politicians that have corruptly made tons and millions of money by getting kickbacks from our taxpayer dollars.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thanks for following us on Rumble tonight. We're going to try to keep on this here. So we just had some things that popped up, and so we're going to try to keep at it. So thanks for following us on Rumble. We're on Twitch, and we're on YouTube tonight. So
watch for new episodes.
Yeah, watch for new episodes. And with that, we're out of here, man.
You've been listening to Stars, Bars, and Cigars. 2 conservative vets telling it like it is. The rally cry for those who appreciate bold truths served with a side of mayhem.
Roger, outside. Decide before copies all. We'll keep them sweating until we see Butcher 3. Out.
We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. And if you didn't, well, why are you still here, Snowflake? We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, follow us on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and hear our precious voices on all the streaming services. Until next time, keep the spirit of freedom roaring.